accused the company of intentionally defaulting on loans. General Diagnostics International raises $10 million in its maiden equity funding round from Investment. The diagnostic firm will use funds to enhance tech stack, build in-house logistical solutions for fast movement of biological samples, and expand its network of laboratories. Ozone Overseas, a home improvement and security solutions brand, raises 250 crore rupees growth funding from PAG-backed Novama Private Equity's latest late-stage pre-IPO series of funding. With this investment, Ozone Overseas expands its manufacturing capacity and explores acquisitions. In a relief to fintechs, RBI has decided to explicitly allow the first loss default guarantee program, but within strict guidelines. The central bank said that regulated entities shall ensure that the total default guarantee shall not exceed 5% of the portfolio amount. Sam Altman, the creator of ChatGPT, meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi to discuss the future of artificial intelligence. Prime Minister says the potential of AI is vast and India will welcome all collaborations. US senators introduced two separate bipartisan artificial intelligence bills. One would require the US government to be transparent when using AI to interact with people, and another would establish an office to determine if the United States is remaining competitive in the latest technologies. Well, those are the headlines we've been tracking for you this evening. Twitter has been abuzz after Abhijit Majumdar, an IIT Bombay professor, put out his experience with FarmEasy. According to Majumdar, after placing an order, he got a call from a FarmEasy pharmacist who recommended herbal supplements along with his order of sugar medicines. Now remember, it is illegal to recommend medicines in India unless you're a legal medical practitioner. In fact, the Union Health Ministry in India recently said it is considering regulations and strict actions against e-pharmacies due to concerns over data privacy and malpractices. The central government is looking to regulate, restrict or prohibit the sale or distribution of any drug by online mode. Now, in response to Majumdar's tweet, FarmEasy defended the action, calling it an act of goodwill. And I quote from a tweet that has now been deleted: "As per FarmEasy policy, we are required to follow the process of confirming the order. The team of pharmacists will always suggest to the customers a medicine or a product depending on your medical history. Kindly note that this is done in goodwill and you can always refuse the suggestion." End of quote. When CNBC-TV18 reached out to the company, they refused to comment. However, a source in the company told us that it is a normal practice to suggest over-the-counter products like aloe vera juice, Chyawanprash, herbal immunity-building products, diapers akin to how a gym trainer or a family member would recommend someone, adding that medicines are not. However, the company's reply to the tweet clearly said that it recommends medicines and products. Moving on, e-commerce marketplace Misho has revealed a new brand identity that the venture believes will reinforce how the e-commerce platform helps its customers make a value-first purchase decision. With this, the company aims to strengthen its positioning as a one-stop horizontal platform that meets the everyday needs of millions of Indian shoppers. To talk to us about the brand revamp and the road ahead at Misho, joining me now is its founder and CEO, Vidit Atre. Vidit, welcome back to Startup Street. First, tell us the reason behind this new brand identity. What's new at Misho, apart from the new logo and color palette? And most importantly, what do you hope to achieve with this brand revamp? What is the larger goal and the kind of impact you hope to create?
Thank you, Stuti. Good to see you, and good to be on CNBC today. So by the way, this brand refresh has been in the works for quite some time, and to be very frank, I've never been so excited. I think this identity, the new identity, is basically reflecting the changes that have happened in the business, of how the business has evolved over the last many years. So if you know, about 5 years ago, as a business, we were mostly focused on women, largely selling fashion, and we used to focus a lot on women entrepreneurs who were leveraging WhatsApp to sell. And the business since then has evolved quite a lot. So today, about half of the users who come to the Misho app and transact are men, and the remaining half are women. So we are essentially serving all genders. We today have all the kind of categories on the platform. Like apparel now is less than 50% of the business, and everything else, which is kids, personal care and beauty, electronics, books, home and kitchen, have grown quite a lot over the last few years. And also like across age groups. So if you look at 18 to 25 is an age group that was not such a big part of the ecosystem about a few years ago, and now is the fastest growing on the platform. So the new brand identity is basically a reflection of how our business has evolved. Like today, our focus is on how do we become the everyday shopping app for the next billion aspirational consumers who are coming online and basically fulfilling everything that they need. And we want to be the inclusive brand that serves them all. We still today have the most number of languages on our app. So you could be in the remotest part of the country, and when you come to the app, you could find it in your own language. Again, no one else does it. We've always had this inclusivity as a very core tenet of the brand, and this identity is basically reflecting that change.
All right, so the brand revamp reflects aspiration and inclusivity. With it, multiple reports suggest that the shopping spree has slowed down and e-commerce is not clicking as it did. What kind of sales are you doing currently? And if you could take me through your current growth numbers.
Yeah, and like I think a lot of that is about what kind of benchmark do you take, right? So obviously during the pandemic, online commerce grew at a crazy pace. But if you ask me, that was never sustainable, right? Like we grew 3x every year from 2020 to 2022, 3x every year, which is massive, but definitely not sustainable. But even if you look at FY23, which has just went by, we still doubled over FY22. The growth still continues to be really, really strong. It's not the pandemic numbers, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Pandemic was definitely a great opportunity for us to kind of reach out to a lot more people because it was a important need for them then. But we still believe that online commerce will continue to be a very important channel and still the fastest growing retail channel like overall. India is still at only 5% of shopping overall happens online. Everything else is still offline. If you look at countries like US, that number is close to 30-35%, China is close to 40%. So we're still way behind. If you look at the penetration of e-commerce, just taking off. So I think we are very, very excited. We believe that online e-commerce will continue to grow. On the point of, hey, is shopping slowing down, inflation impacting? If you look at our core tenet has always been the how do we build the lowest cost channel for consumers and small businesses, right? So we always have been very value focused. We want to make sure that people are able to do a lot more, fulfill all their aspirations with a limited budget. And in times like this, it offers us a great opportunity. A lot more people are looking for value, and as a platform, that's what we promised and we've been providing so far. So again, I think of all of this as a great opportunity for us, and that's why this brand refresh is also in the same direction, that we want to go out and tell the world that, hey, we are there for you, we have aspirations, we know it, and as a platform, we are doing everything we can to kind of fulfill them.
Okay, with it, let me go back a month ago when you reduced the size of the Misho workforce by 15%, affecting 251 employees in order to achieve sustained profitability. Are you close to achieving this, and what are the cost pressures you're currently seeing? What is your current cash burn?
Yeah, so if you look at our cash burn, it has gone down by more than 90% year on year, right? So we have done a lot of work over the past 12 months, both in terms of getting very, very close to profitability while maintaining a steady growth. So I think we should be about a quarter or two away from profitability. And fingers crossed, I think we should come back very, very soon on CNBC again and basically declare that we are there. But it's not very far away anymore. I think we should be there in a quarter or two. But we've made I think it's just the last mile. As I said, we've reduced the cash burn by 90% of the last 1 year. So most of the work is already done.
All right, Vidit, surely looking forward to the next interview where Misho turns profitable. But before I let you go, one final question. IPO anytime soon?
Fingers crossed, hopefully soon. And that's why I think we've been so focused on profitability. Once we get done a quarter or two, I think then we would be ready. So whenever the window opens up, we should be knocking the door.
All right, Vidit, we've completely run out of time, but many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today and wish you the very best with all your plans. Moving on, time for a short break, but coming up, Sports for All have been building grassroots sports in schools. We speak to its founders on how they are helping budding athletes. Stay tuned for that one. Sports Authority of India and is the official partner of Team India under the aegis of the Indian Olympic Association. To talk to us about how the venture is giving the best taste of sports to students, joining me now are the founders, Rishikesh and Vishwas. Welcome to Startup Street. And, Vishwas, let me start with you. Tell me what makes Sports for All's business model unique within the landscape of sports development programs. What are you offering to the growth and success of sports in India?
So like you said, we started 8 years back, and Rishi and me went through the school sports ecosystems in India, 30 years back, and in that we realized that even today the things hadn't changed and probably got worse. So we decided that we had to do something, and we had to have a platform where kids get that kind of joyful experience when they come and play sport for the first time, and in these tender ages. And that's from where the sports, the SFA championship started. And just to put into perspective, an SFA championship, we have 15,000 kids from 500 plus schools between the age of 5 and 18, which come to find out the #1 school for sport in a city. And just this year, we're going to do 10 such championships in 10 cities. So it's really doing 10 Olympics in a span of 4 months.
Absolutely. Let me bring in Rishikesh now. Rishikesh, you're targeting 150 championships across 50 cities within 5 years. Now, this is unheard of when one thinks about grassroots or school sporting competitions. So tell me, how is Sports for All enabling this? Talk to me about your partnerships with schools. What has been your footprint so far?
Hi, thank you so much for having us on this show. Over the past 8 years, as Vish said, we've already worked with over 4,000 schools, and close to 200,000 athletes have participated with us over the past 8 years, right? This has given us a very deep understanding of the way, the need gap analysis probably of the schools, of the athletes, and we had to work extremely closely with the sporting ecosystem to be able to enable this entire platform. So we work not just very closely with schools, but with the local associations, federations, state governments, and coaches alike to be able to bring the best possible sporting experiences or international standard sporting experiences back to the school children, right? And over the next 5 years, we are going to be looking at over 2 million kids that will be participating with us, and we will be able to capture the data analytics and statistics of every single athlete that plays with us, right? Thereby connecting the entire school sporting ecosystem through one singular sporting platform. That's pretty much what we are going to do. And obviously, technology is the backbone that enables us to conduct such mega scale.
Yes, I was coming to that, Rishikesh. If you could talk to me about your IP tech solution, tell us how Sports for All intends to leverage data analytics for assisting budding athletes in their sporting journey. How are you doing that?
I think first and foremost, right, to be able to enable these large-scale, complex, multi-sporting competitions and to create a seamless, joyful sporting experience requires a high degree of accuracy and precision, right? And then when every athlete is participating, we need to be able to capture the data, statistics, and analytics, including the match videos of every single athlete. So our games management system has been our flagship tech property, which has now, also enabled, the Khelo India Youth Games that happened in Haryana and the recently concluded national games that happened in Gujarat. And, now we know that this technology is ready to be built even for the international athletes, which is what we are bringing now to the school kids. So the entire backbone is really enabling us to scale up and do these 150 championships with all of this accuracy and precision.
Okay. Vishwas, let me get you back in. India is waking up to immense interest in sports. How are you capturing the interest of brands? If you could talk to me about your revenue model, how you're looking to make Sports for All a sustainable business. What models have you devised with schools, brands, and associations?
Yeah, so, sports is a big part of nation building, and we've seen this in the 50s in the US, in the 80s in Japan, 2000s in China. So I think India's time has come to become that sporting superpower. And I think everyone is waking up to this, everybody from schools to parents to brands. And in terms of making it sustainable, we've always wanted to make this a sustainable business. When we started off, People thought that we were an NGO and we were doing this just because it was a passion, but it was a passion and it is a passion, but we always wanted to make it sustainable, and that's the only way we knew that this was going to grow. So we are always focusing on, the revenue numbers, the costs, and trying to make this profitable as soon as possible.
Okay, all right. Rishikesh, you mentioned that you're the sponsors for Khelo India Youth Games. That's beginning from Madhya Pradesh this year, and you're there for the next 5 years until 2028 editions happen. Elaborate on this, and how do you ensure an equitable platform for athletes at such games?
For us, the Khelo India Youth Games, right, for India have become a very aspirational platform for all of the state and national level athletes, right? At the school level, to be able to build that aspiration very early, at the age of 8, 9 and 10, if we can show the forward path, if we can show the roadmap and the aspiration that, how an athlete can get to the Khelo India level, I think that is the reason why which we sponsored it. Also, imagine a space where, at the age of 8, 10 and 12, if an athlete running in Uttarakhand knows, a 100-meter race runner in Uttarakhand knows exactly where he stands against an athlete running in Tamil Nadu or in West Bengal, for example, right? At that age, you get to realize very early where you stand. And from that point onwards, to be able to build your forward path with the knowledge of where you stand is extremely important. So be able to create equitable platforms at the school level will really create, a seamless journey up to the Khelo India levels and to Team India that will go on to play, the global platforms and represent India. So our entire aim and vision of sponsoring the Khelo India Youth Games from 2023 up to 2028 goes in line with our vision of laying out 150 championships over the next 5 years and to unearth that level of talent. And we hope that in the 2036 Olympics, today the child that is 36 inches will represent India in 2036 when the Olympics hopefully come to India. So that's the vision with which sponsored the Khelo India Youth Games.
All right, and we wish you the very best for the vision and for all the growth plans that are there that you set for yourself. Vishwas and Rishikesh, many thanks for joining us on Startup Street. It was a pleasure speaking to the both of you. All right, moving on. Affordable medicine. This has been the cornerstone of numerous government policies in the pharma space for years now. Drug manufacturers have also been working on making their products affordable, especially when it comes to life-saving drugs. And now here's a 21-year-old who is trying to make drugs and treatments cheaper still. CNBC-TV18's Ashutosh Patki caught up with Arjun Deshpande to find out how his startup Generic Aadhaar is making medicines up to 60% cheaper for the end consumer, especially in rural India. Take a look.
Generic drugs like paracetamol and amoxicillin are cheaper than their original molecule. But sometimes, even these can be hard on the pocket. But 21-year-old Arjun Deshpande from Thane has been trying to solve this problem for the last 6 years, ever since he turned 16. His solution, Generic Aadhaar, a medical franchise that has created an ecosystem where generic drugs are sometimes up to 80% cheaper than in the current system.
When I saw the real burning problem that people were not getting medicines, what is the basic necessity at affordable price. So from there my journey started, and today we are present in 2,000 plus stores we have across the nation and providing affordable healthcare.
Deshpande has managed to cut costs drastically by sourcing drugs directly from the manufacturer and distributing it through his outlets. He says he has completely cut out the middlemen from stockists to distributors.
Up to 80% lesser price.
For instance, diabetes drug glimepiride, which normally retails for 110 rupees per strip, is available a little over 5 rupees through Generic Aadhaar. Anti-allergen levocetirizine, which usually retails for 55 rupees, is available for under 6 rupees per strip. The list is long. Deshpande's idea has grown at an exponential rate, not just in terms of turnover, but in the number of job opportunities it has created in both semi-urban and rural areas.
Generic Aadhaar today have 500 crore plus valuation, and we are directly, indirectly giving around 10,000 jobs across the nation. With that, we are also giving around 2,000 micro entrepreneurship. So we are also empowering micro entrepreneurship on ground who are willing to start our franchises, and the small mom and pop stores who are already there into the industry from a decade.
He has even caught the eye of established businessmen investors like Ratan Tata, and this added to the venture's growth momentum.
We were disrupting the age-old pharma industry before Ratan Sir invested in our venture, but after he invested, he personally mentored me. After that, our venture started expanding more. We already also we were expanding, but after that, definitely more reachability, more expansion we did on the national. And because, as I mentioned, this venture is not just for 1 crore or 2 crore of people, but this venture is for 130 crore of people of the nation.
Generic Aadhaar has also expanded its product portfolio significantly over the years, and even supplies generic drugs used to treat ailments like cancer. Deshpande mentions the biggest challenge is making drugs accessible to rural markets, and that's his focus.
Our vision is not to expand in just urban cities, but with that, the real need is about the 3-tier cities, the rural part of the country, because I personally believe that the real India starts 40 kilometers away from the urban cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and that is the real need what we have to solve on.
In his quest, he is already tasting success.
There is a small village in Bihar, Kusheshwar Asthan. Over there is a population of 15,000. There is one doctor, one pharmacy, one hospital. That doctor have taken the franchisee of Generic Aadhaar, and we are serving the people in the rural part as well.
Generic Aadhaar has tied up with the Andhra Pradesh government to set up 120 stores in the state, and with the UP government for 700 stores. Rural India is not the only focus though. Deshpande is also working on taking his business global.
Today, across the world, like Middle East, in Dubai, Oman, in Southeast Asia, Singapore, Cambodia, many kind of countries, people over there are approaching Generic Aadhaar for taking the franchisee of Generic Aadhaar in that particular city. Because what revolution we are making into our country, that has been also recognized overseas. And now we will be shortly opening our stores in Dubai, in Oman, in Cambodia, in Vietnam as well.
Deshpande says making affordable and accessible drugs for humans is not enough. So he is diversifying into veterinarian medicines as well. Something he says will provide relief to both pet owners and farmers.
Because when we talk about farmers, so they all have for poultry farming or different kind of farming, they need the help of the animals. And once the animals become ill or something, the medicine cost for the animals is too much for them. So all the profit what they earn from farming is being going into treating their animals. So what we're doing on our veterinary medicines will help the farmers to cut down the cost on the medicines, and our franchises of veterinary are also going to start in different kind of parts of the country.
Investors like Ratan Tata are not alone in seeing Generic Aadhaar's potential. In 2022, the company raised funding in a pre-Series A round from Japanese venture capital firm Beyond Next Ventures.
The Indian generic drug market stood at $24 billion in 2022 and is estimated to reach $130 billion by 2030. After sustaining COVID-19 pandemic, the global generic drug market is projected to go beyond $500 billion. Hopefully soon we'll see the day when medicine affordability will not be an issue for the citizens of our country.
And Generic Aadhaar is banking on riding high on this big wave of growth, and it increases both drug affordability and accessibility. In Mumbai, Ashutosh Patri.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.